Hi everyone, here is part 2 of my model horse collection tour. So we are upstairs in where I have some other horses. So we have the Ruffian mold. So I'm pretty sure I have Ruffian, Black Caviar, Rachel Alexandra, and then American Pharaoh. And then we have the Stormy mold. And these are both the same model, but they're different releases. So one's older on the left and one's newer of the Stormy mold. And then we have the traditional Gypsy Vanner, and then we have a bunch of the silver mold, and these are all from the treasure hunt from, I think, like a few years back. It was a little while back. But we have the Grula, the Rose Gray, and the Bay Pinto. And then we have that, I think it's the Ashley mold. And so I have the Appaloosa, and then this one came with, it was a National Show Horse mare. It was like a set. And then we have like a pony foal that's, I think it's a classic size foal. I have Hot Couture, and then Kalikakari. I have no clue how to say their names. And then Raja, and this was just the Marwari. It didn't really have a name when it was released. So this is the Marwari mold, probably one of my favorites. And then my biggest conga is the Winter Song or Othello mold. So we have glossy and matte version of Winter, which was from a treasure hunt. And then we have glossy and matte version of Spring. We have Argyle, Winter Song, Pamplemousse, and then the glossy and matte version, I'm trying to remember if this was Summer, and then the glossy and matte version of Fall, all from like the treasure hunt. Sorry, it's a little blurry. And then, what is his name? He's newer. He came out a couple years ago. Poop, I can't remember. But he was a Clydesdale. And then we have Oliver, Fox Valley Oliver. And then this was a celebration model from Briarfest. Mariah's Boone or something like that. And then we have my small conga of Peter Stone American Saddlebreds. I love these guys. And then I have my very small conga of Trotting Peter Stone Drafters. I have Milla, the giant Briar foals, and I have all three versions of them. And there's miscellaneous stablemates like mixed in. Oh, and then you can see her in between the Winter Songs and the Saddlebreds. I'm trying to remember her name. She was Horse of the Year. She's a classic mold. And then we go to the Stock Horse Stallion mold. And I got the Warehouse, Roan, Nugget, a really old one. I don't remember his release name. And then this was I think a JCPenney release, and it came with another model. And then we have, people call them the Bubble Butt Belgians, but this is the old Belgian mold, and I love it. I think it's cute. And so the one on the left is a really old Belgian, and then there's like a newer release of the Belgian. I know the one on the far right is Arthur, but I can't remember the other ones. It might have just been like a breed name. I don't think it was like a full release name. And this is the other, like Amber and Ashley Appaloosa foal that we saw over there. And then just miscellaneous stable. You got the semi-rearing Mustang in the back, Pinto. And then a bunch of random safari and shellac zebras, donkeys, mules throughout. Aurelius. And then this was, I'm trying to remember his name. He was a Briarfest release. I can't remember. And then we have Goffert. We have the Briarfest Celebration model. Some crazy name, but he is glossy with brown eyes, so he's a little bit different than Goffert. And then we have Coochie, Taskin, And then from the Smoke and Mirrors set, the last one, that's a gray. And then we have a Peter Stone. Honey Magnet was her release name. She's was a regular run from like way back. Love her. And she's got a few rubs on her because I had her when I was younger and she fell off a shelf or something. And then I have a Collecta Frisian, Scratching Foal, Fire, in the corner. That was like the warehouse release. And then just miscellaneous stablemates and mini winnies, and then I have a couple of the pewter Maggie Bennett mini winnie release. My Roxy conga, I have Don't Look Twice downstairs, so she'll end up coming up here and being part of this conga. So this is we got Roxy, and then Constellation, and then Briarfest Surprise model. I don't remember what their name was, if they had like a funky name that went with it, but this is the matte gray. And then we have the World Equestrian Game model, and she's got a long mane, and I think she's a reining horse, the Palomino one. And then I have the glossy Appaloosa Surprise Roxy model from Briarfest. And then we have Midnight Tango, the little miniature horse. I think this was the first one released on that mold. And then we have the Appaloosa Performance horse, and a lot of these are a little bit older. And then we have the Weather Girl mold. The first three on the right are from the Weather Girl Treasure Hunt. And I do have the rainbow, actual clear rainbow model too, but I have her down in a sales bucket right now. This is Jasmine, which is a Briarfest release. Then we have the Missouri Foxtrotter mold, and I think it's Prince. This was a J.C. Penney run. I feel like Snowflake or something. The one with the red ribbons. Perrot was a Briarfest special. And then Southern Sunrise. I have like a really soft spot for this model. My mom bought it for me for Christmas when I was like a kid, and oh, I love it so much. And then this was the Maverick, the one that was released I think last year for Tractor Supply. And then Double Trouble, I'm pretty sure the one on the right's name was. But I love these guys. I have a pretty big conga without even trying to have a conga. And then I got a lot of little stablemates mixed in. I love the chubby little vaulting draft that they released, and I have one on the left that's a black and white pinto that has no snip, and then you can see the two on the right that do have snips. So it's kind of cool that one didn't have one. Another one of my big favorite congas is the Cleveland Bay mold. So I absolutely love the Cleveland Bay mold. And so I have Chicory Limerick. He was a Briarfest special run. O'Leary's Irish Diamond. Roached mane. This one was released a few years ago. I can't remember. It was a police horse. For some reason I can't remember the name. And then the roan with a roached mane was a Briarfest special run. But for some reason his name's slipping my mind. Then we have the Cleveland Bay mold itself. And then we have an Irish Draft mold. This one was released I think last year. The J.C. Penney Palomino, which was released with a bouncer mold. And then we have the World Equestrian Games, different type of plastic Cleveland Bay. So he's different all around. Like, he's a lot lighter. His ears are a little bit different. So, but he was from the World Equestrian Games. And then we have a traditional Proud Arabian Foal in the back. This one's Tennessee Titan, the donkey on the right. Alborozo, the Gigi Valentine, like mare, the matte and glossy. And then we have Malang and Stage Mom, American Saddlebred, the older mold. And so we have, I think his name was like something Sprinkle, Toys R Us run, like a decorator color, the one in the middle. And I don't know this one, that's glossy, that's a liver chestnut on the end. And then another one of my big congas is my Andalusian mold that I love. So I have the original black Andalusian. We have the bay one. I forgot his release name. Then we have the JCPenney Roan one. Was Galad, the really pretty like livery chestnut. Calente was from a tour. Jubilee. And this one was a Briarfest special run from a few years ago. Then Noble 2, which was a Briarfest celebration model from years back. Unicorn, that was, I think, released, I don't know if it was a JCPenney model. Frankel and Lady C. It's a collector's club, like you could enter to get the chance to win it. Forget her name. It might have been Under something or whatever. And then this was a JCPenney release, the Bay Sherman Morgan. And so there's just a bay one, and then Autumn, which was the glossy chestnut. Radar, and then just a random, I want to say Belgian. I don't think he had a name. I can't remember. And then we have the Esprit or Esprit mold. So Esprit or Esprit is in the middle, and then we have Lionheart on the right, and then we have Pecos on the left. Pecos was a celebration model from a few years back. Then we have the Pam mold. I don't have many of this mold, but I absolutely love it. Carissa, I think that was the release name. If I get release names wrong, I can't remember all of them. And then we have Uncalled For, Bee's Knees, Pottery Barn Bay, Mustang Classics. And then we have the cigar mold, so cigars on the right. A Glossy Affirmed, which was from a special website. And then I think there was only 500 of him made. It was a Briarfest special run, the one that's like a done. And then we have Sato, I think his name was. He was the Pinto Palomino.